And we will invite you to feel relaxed, to feel in your bodies, to feel the connection you have with the ground in the place called the common ground in Bray, Ireland. As our vehicle introduced ourselves, from his perspective, we are the Pleiadians who are coming to offer our wisdom and teaching and advices. As we have chosen the topic for this evening, it is how to get out of the duality. We will expand the name, how to get over the model of duality. Let us say first that you as physical beings in a third dimensional world have been for most of your times playing this game within the range of what you call the duality. Simply said, you were able to recognize two parts of the coin, two sides of the coin, if you will. The good and bad, males and females, cold and hot, the right and wrong. What is happening now when you are going through the transformational changes is that another part is appearing in the game. We will give you the understanding. If you imagine a simple line which starts at the point A and finishes at the point B, this is the general concept of the duality. Then in the middle you would now be able to see the point C. However, you are still moving on the line. And one could say that the C we just described is the middle point. What happens if you move the point C up, over and above the line of A, B and C? Anybody?
Different reality.
Different perception. The reality stays similar. We don't really want to say it will stay the same because of the changes you are going through, but the perception is what creates your reality after all. So firstly we have to start with the perception. The model we just described could be also called the Trinity. When you are getting 3 points which are not aligned in one line, you will get a triangle. Why are we bringing this topic now? In one way, we could say it's too early because you are not able to fully see the third point manifesting into your reality yet, although it must have been introduced to you, because you are already able to see that there is something else between those two, good and cold, good and bad, and cold and warm. It's been since the transformation of 2012 where people who do find themselves sensitive on the energetic levels, on other levels as well, are able to realize within their bodies that there is something else happening within the game what wasn't there before. These events are creating the appearance of the third element coming in the game. What we want you to realize is that it's about the time right now where you find yourself in a situation which is more confusing than what, let's say, has been happening to you before in your past. That's why it is important. It's paramount important for you to start seeing these patterns and not to get caught up in the confusion because you are not able to place your understanding between the A and B, good and bad. You must be realizing there is something else, and you must be able to add another box in your mind. Let's say if something happens, you're not sure if it's good, you're not sure if it's bad, place it in the other third box. This is we would say, the exercise which will create more open and receiving vibrations, not to end up in a judgmental state or in confusion, which would eventually lead to it. Do you understand what we're saying? This would be the part where we would say, look into your lives, you look into your emotionality, what is happening. And maybe not now, but later in a day or later in a week, try to find and pick one event or one situation which you are not, or which you were not able to place into a category you used to know. If it's good or if it's bad, we are just saying these samples right now. And do for yourself place it into the third box. Leave it there for a while and come back to the event or situation, let's say 2 weeks after, and do try to observe it, how your emotional connection to the event or situation changed once it's been taken out of the equation of being put somewhere in these boxes. Do you understand? So now, we thank you for listening our little talk, and we will give you the opportunity to ask us a question. Please do keep in mind that one of the purposes we are here is to help people on a global level. So if you have a question which is somehow touching you on a personal level, try to make it sound as if it applies to more people. You may ask your questions now.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
As I move off that line and move more towards that point C that you described earlier, I notice that with my work, with my healing work, that things seem more complicated than they were before when I was on the line and I had a simple, very simplistic way of seeing things. So things are becoming more complicated, and people's problems seem more complex, so they bring in different aspects that I wouldn't have been aware of previously. So is there a way, a quick way of dealing with that confusion so that I can be clearer and more effective?
We'll answer one by one.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a quick way? No. You are integrating very new ideas into your psyche, and you don't have the reference points to ground it. If we ask you what is good and what is bad, most of you have very direct, very grounded ideas what belongs into each box. That's why the confusion may happen when you start placing new things into a new box. That's why we also recommend to leave the event or the situation there for a certain time, and not to be going into it and be trying to figure it out right now, because these changes will take time. We'll say this. Your psyche, or your, let's say we'll put it on a bigger picture, you on a soul level are aware of these changes we have described, and you are aware that there is something else coming into the play. So this is just us describing what's been happening for several years already. But because of, for your logical mind, it would be a new ground, new place, let's say. That's what creates the confusion. Your logical mind, will be honest with you, the logical mind doesn't want to give up these two, because they feel very safe. If I know what is not good, I kind of know what's good for me or for the others. And when you start playing with the third box, it creates fear as well. If you would be from now on to place all the events what happened to you since now into these three boxes, it would be very confusing, and maybe some people even would not know what to do, because none of you want to do what you consider as the bad thing. So you are all queuing up in the corner of the good things, and then you get the third box. Oh, I'm not going there. Oh, I'll stay in my safe corner of the good things, of the good decisions. We understand your point, and we see where it's coming from. People would say, and we feel it from some of you, that you don't really see the benefit of creating another box for yourself, of splitting your judgment, if you will, into a three parts. That's a very logical statement. Yet we do hold onto a word that you will later on be more and more realizing that the third box must be there, because the good and bad will not be enough for you anymore. Did we answer your question?
Yes, but in the meantime, and it's not just with me, it's with a lot of people that are in this situation. In the meantime, there are people waiting to be healed and waiting for a decision to be made by the healer, an action. So what is the best way of progressing there?
Are you asking this question on regards of the idea of three boxes, or you are just asking what is the best way of providing healing and guidance for people?
I'm understanding that you're saying you put it in the box and wait. My feeling is that when somebody is looking for healing, it's not always ideal to wait a week, or that they need attention or a decision or action immediately.
Yes. We'll say this. When you start to play with this game, you have to be selective what you will be putting into the third box, perhaps. Mm-hmm. You still have your 2 save boxes. Pick something what is easy and what is somehow meaningless. If you have a bigger, let's say bigger task in front of you, if it's heavy, if it has the attention of other people as well, you still can use your 2 boxes and be in a safe game what you know how to play. The integration of the third box will, as we said, take a long time. And you don't have to start right now with the hardest event or hardest situation. If it has the momentum, this is what you just described, other people being involved in it, time pressure, decision making, somebody being the one calling the diagnosis or calling for the actions. You might not want to be playing with this action within the third box. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We would say the general example goes like this. You go out for a walk and you see a couple arguing, and because you know them, you finding hard to choose the sides. Your logical mind, let's say, would feel like you would be on the side of one of them, but you still feel that there is something off with the decision. So make it easier for yourself and make the use of the exercise. You can put this situation in the third box. It doesn't affect you in any way if you leave it there for a time and you come back to it in 2-3 weeks. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
Rather than saying, oh, I'm on his side, I'm on her side. Yeah. Or I'm not choosing sides, which is still a box anyway. People will find it within the upcoming 2-3 years that the idea of a third box is more flexible than it actually looks right now. It goes with people exploring what they are actually able to do, what is actually happening around them. You are expanding your consciousness, if we say it very bluntly right now. But before you realize that you are way more powerful than you think you are now, this idea of third box must be there. Otherwise, many people, without the guidance of a teacher or a helper, would not be able to fit the situations what are happening to them into these 2 boxes, because these are just not suitable for them anymore. We're not saying you can't use them, you will always have them there, because they will eventually create a base for something else rising again. But the idea of a third box must be there, available for you in those times where you are able not to be jumping into conclusions and making decisions at the moment. We are giving a very, we would say, basic descriptions of what this exercise will be doing for you. But that's all you need now. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
Can I ask something?
Yes.
Just following on from that last question, is it a phenomenon, I don't know this, I'm just asking, that people are going to present, Fergus already said they are presenting, but I'm just wondering if it's worldwide that people are presenting with more complex phenomena. Is that a phase that we have to go through, or is there anything to be said about that?
People are presenting more complex
problems, symptoms, things to be resolved when they come to for a healing, for example.
It is a situation which looks like people are presenting the more complex situations and issues. The thing is, people are more receptive. That's the only thing I will say. People are more receptive to what is going on inside them and around. The complexity is actually changing into simplicity, and things will be more simple. Although you will have to go through certain time periods where things are realigning. So yes, people are realizing, or it looks like they are realizing they have more problems than they had before. But the destination is getting more simple and more simple for each of you. We will say this. 60 or 80 years ago, if you have a look on people who lived 60, 80 years ago, they, from your perspective, perhaps lived at very simple times. People had a house, they had family, and they went to work. That's pretty much the basic frame what they had at those times. They would be interested in, let's say, how to raise their kids. They would be interested in how to look after the garden. And you would find, of course, a few more examples of what was mainly on their mind, and it also depends on the location they were living in. And if we will for a while not count the west part of your world, the America and these continents, people lived simple lives. What about now? You look at people who are not even 30 years old, they don't have any family. They are trying to figure out the way how to get to the dream job, how to be sacrificing, we will say this, sacrificing their years to spend in a jobs they don't like just to have it on their resumes, to one day hopefully get the dream job. And when they do get the dream job, it becomes very boring within short amount of time. And then they focus on having the partner, and having the perfect partner, who looks perfect, who is perfect. And then when they do get the partner, they will focus on the house and the mortgage, and then the holidays. You see where the confusion comes? These are very different times, which, as you say, look like they are more complex, but it's only because of the culture which surrounds you, how you allow yourself to be conditioned by the culture. Things are more simple. There is much more help for you at these times than ever before. And we are not talking only about those people who are in a position of helping people through healing or regular Western medicine. coaches, whatever we are talking about, help from all the sides. Did we answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Who will have another question?
Can I ask a question? When you talk about the third box, is it a place where you take the things that obviously can't be compartmentalized in the good nor the bad? Are they the things that bring the fear or the anxiety, or it's too big of an issue to deal with right now? Is it kind of a machine where we place these things inside and then return when we're in a better position to deal with them?
Thank you for the question. Wonderful question. The general idea is to put into the box things which don't really feel fitting into either of these two boxes, where you perhaps just feel that there is something else about it, where you may also feel that your perception will change at a time to be in a better place to decide. The box should not be used for things you just don't want to care at that moment. It shouldn't be a dumping place for what you don't want to be handling at the right moment. When you use dominantly your feelings, not the logical evaluation of the event or the situation, but only your feelings, and you will try to feel, is this good or is this bad, or is it something a little bit different then? We are using the examples within the story only with the good and bad, but it can be also what is useful, what is not useful anymore, and perhaps you will find some actions or events which are somehow useful, but they are not useful on the other hand. So you will put them into the third box. Very often what you will put there will contain, in a way, the vibration, or we would say the feeling of those two boxes anyway, because they are connected together. Do you understand?
Yes.
We'll say again, it looks confusing, it might feel confusing, but that's why you are being introduced to this teachings or idea. It will be more and more obvious for your psyche and now for your logical mind as well how to play the game. And this is not the last time we are talking about this topic, so you will hear us describing more as people will be more engaged with the game, and then the momentum will go on and go on. Did we answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Any other question? If not, then we will express our appreciation for you holding the space for us and allowing us to introduce for the first time this concept of the third box. And we will wish you a very happy, good day.